Hey guys, welcome.
Welcome.
Today we're going to talk about some of the challenges being a Filipina dating a foreigner. So I make a lot of friends with some Filipinas that are in relationship with foreigner, and we share some of our challenges, being married or dating a foreigner. So
Okay.
there are some. I've said enough good things about foreigners from the past. I've said a lot of good things about being or dating a foreigner. So this time, let's talk about the negative side.
You're gonna say some bad things about being with a foreigner, is that right?
Not really that bad. Like, it's just, the culture thing. Like, we find it challenging.
Okay, well good. Let's make a change from the videos that we're normally talking about Filipinas.
Let's target the foreigners this time.
I guess that means me.
Okay, so let's get started.
So what are the biggest challenges that a Filipina faces when dating a foreigner?
So one of the biggest challenge is when it comes to making your food. We Filipinas, we know how to cook, but usually simple food like, adobo, like Philippine food. And some foreigners are not into Philippine food. Like, for example, this one right here, you're not into Philippine food really.
It's not my favorite, but I will eat it if necessary.
Yes,
But,
I know.
Again, I would prefer other things.
Yeah, but one of the traits we have is we always want to please our men. We always want to make effort to please you guys and make you happy. So at first we find it challenging. Like, when me and my friends, when we discuss about the challenges we face being with a foreigner, this is the biggest one. This is the number one. They would point out that making the food for our foreign partner, we find it very challenging.
So the fact that Filipinos really care about pleasing their man, and you call it a challenge, but about how to cook for them, I think you'll find that doesn't happen in a lot of other countries where they really care about what you're eating. I think a lot of cases it's going to be, this is what you got, eat it and shut up,
Yeah.
And it says a lot about the Filipino woman that they really care about pleasing their man.
And we're happy to do it.
Yeah, and for those that are looking for that kind of woman, I recommend Christian Filipina dating service. This is a great place to go to look for a traditional type woman. Unlike a lot of other,
Dating
apps that don't have a good vetting process. There's a lot of barriers to overcome. Christian Filipina makes this process a lot smoother. They eliminate a lot of the difficulties you get with these other sites. So I recommend you check out Christian Filipina. We have it in the link below, and check out the packages they offer to see if there's a fit for you. There's no obligation.
Yep. And also, one of the biggest challenge is communication. Well, I'm not saying it's just our challenge. I'm sure for foreigners, it's also one of your challenge. It's both ways, So actually, when we get into our relationship, that's one thing I find it so hard. Like, that a bit discourage me, when we're new, because I doubt myself if I can do it. Can I able to express myself to you? We Filipinas, we love to express ourselves to our partner, and it's hard. Like, for example, when we get into argument with our partner, foreign partner, sometimes Filipina will just shut up because because we don't know how to express our feelings, So that's why Filipina go tampo, because they cannot speak, right? Do you agree?
That's probably why.
Yeah, but it is challenging. Do you agree?
Well, of course it is. That's always going to be a problem. The communication, I think,
Yeah, there is some Filipina actually that wanted to date a foreigner, but they just can't because they think that foreigners they don't have confidence speaking in English. So yeah.
You know, as we're talking about this, I'm just thinking it's not always just the language barrier. I think sometimes communication can be a problem even in the West when you're with someone, when you both your first language is English. You know, people often, especially, I think the biggest problem with communication is sometimes not the difference of the language and culture, but the fact that you've got a man who thinks like a man and a woman who thinks like a woman. And sometimes there can be miscommunication on how things are interpreted.
Yeah, and I think women, I would say women is more sensitive. This is a bit connected to communication. Foreigners can be so straightforward, like confrontational, I would say. In we Filipinas, we, like if you compared us to other women in other country, like Western country, we Filipinas, we are more sensitive. Do you agree? Like we're so
No, I don't
sensitive.
agree.
We're so easy to get hurt. Like if you say something, we get offended very easily because we're not used to it. And foreigners are very bold sometimes. They can be very bold.
You know, and answering your question, I think that both sides could be sensitive about this, just how they react when you have miscommunication. I think the foreigner will react more with, they get frustrated and sometimes angry with the communication.
And loud sometimes.
You know, but again, it's a sensitivity issue. It's just how that comes out in the foreigner. With the Filipino, it's, you said, it's a little more, they don't know what to say, they'll stop talking. And they're sensitive in a more emotional way. Well, anger's an emotion too, but I guess they're sensitive in a different way.
Yeah, and also foreigner, like there's some that would confront you in public. And Filipina doesn't want that.
Oh no, they hate that.
Yeah, we Filipino, you should.
I've learned my
keep that in
lessons
mind.
on that. Not just with you. I've learned that in the past to not. And I'm guilty of this. Actually, foreigners, a lot of foreigners do this. Is when they get a little frustrated with their partner in public, they're not aware of the people that are around. You're not thinking about who's watching or listening.
Yes.
And the Filipinos extremely aware of this.
And we care so much what other people would say about us. And I think that's one of the reasons why we are so sensitive about that part, because yes, we don't like scandalous to make scene in public. We don't want that. And I've noticed, like this happened a few months ago in hypermarket. I saw foreigner yelling to his Filipina. The Filipina just, I can see that she's just breathing in and out, but she looks so embarrassed. The foreigner's like, like I think he was telling her to go that line because it was. No, but Filipina doesn't like that. I'm sure he get in trouble when he gets home for that.
Yeah, that's some good advice for those that are not aware of this issue. Definitely be careful on what you say to your girl in public, because if she thinks someone else is listening to you or heard you, you're going to have a massive problem. That'll lead to a big argument.
Definitely, yeah. It's also connected to the one that we discussed. Foreigners find it hard to adjust here in the Philippines, like driving. We Filipinas, we find it hard to just listening to you guys. I know a Filipina, they don't argue with any other things except when it comes to driving. She said, let's just sell our car and let's just ride a track. That's what she said, because she doesn't like it, and especially at first, you already adjust, when it comes to driving here in the Philippines. But there are some foreigners that they would vent how they feel to their Filipina and
like me?
Yes, you usually do that. From the past, you were worse, but now you kind of adjusting
No,
it.
you know what? No, it just feels like I'm adjusting it because you're getting worse too. Now, we're driving along now, and she'll look at drives and get frustrated. Look at that crazy bus now. What the hell do they think they're doing? I can't believe you did that. The guy didn't look. He just cut right out in front of me. I mean, you're doing it, and you're getting frustrated whereas you didn't used to. So,
But
you're beginning to
maybe
get it.
I get used to you.
Yeah, exactly. You're understanding. You're beginning to understand why we get frustrated.
Yeah. Yes, but at first we find it hard to just listening to your constantly, because we Filipinas, we're very positive. We don't want to talk about negative. We just wanna have fun every moment. We don't want to listen to negativity. So at first, Filipina find it challenging to hear that. Yeah. It is. And we understand, I do understand foreigners why they act that way, because Philippines works in a different way, you know, like for example, getting in line here in the Philippines, sometimes it's bad, right? Like in a grocery store, you'd see 3 cashiers not working or 5. Like in Robinson, like they have plenty of cashier, and
Yeah,
sometimes they
that
will
drives me
close.
nuts.
Like they will just open 3 cashier, and
If
the
you're
rest
lucky.
would be, yeah.
And big lines
Yeah.
on those 3, and a dozen cashier stations closed.
Yeah.
While you're standing in a line of 6 people. That's frustrating.
In Gary, we're happy that he finally hit the senior citizen, the 60. You know, here we have
Okay. First, so no.
we have the priority lane, but sometimes it's longer.
Yeah, as I say, that doesn't do any good because it's normally longer. You're right, because
Exactly.
because all the cities they usually have one station for the, and so
It's still, you know, we don't, like, Philippine works in a different way. Sometimes it doesn't make any sense, like the rules here. I beginning to understand that, so I understand foreigners, but some Filipina who still don't get it, you know, they still have the mindset of Philippine, you know, they would find it challenging.
So what are your other challenges? You've talked about food being the biggest challenge. You meant communication is your second challenge. Did you have any more? Or were we mostly good?
That's pretty much it in my mind.
There's not many challenges
Not
then.
much. Yeah,
Wow.
thanks goodness for that. Yeah, so anyway, that's it.
Okay.
Again, before we end this video, don't forget to use our link if you're interested to check out Christian Filipina services.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
By the way, I just got to add, I find it interesting how we can do a video on the biggest challenges a foreigner faces dating a Filipino, and I can list a dozen things without even thinking about it, and you can only come up with 2.
Yeah.
Wow. Go find yourselves a Filipina.
All right, so we'll see you guys in our next video. Bye.
Bye.